Austintown Township Trustee Meeting, May 8th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kent?
Here.
Mrs. Beaver? Here. Mr. Santos?
Here.
This time I'll do my introduction. The director of our senior center, Mr. Henshaw, Jim Henshaw. Our park supervisor, Todd Schaefer. Our fire chief, Chief Andy Frost III. Our police chief, Chief Bob Cavalier. Our zoning inspector, Darren Cavelli. Our new township administrator and road superintendent, Mark Dapolito. Our fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. Off to my right is trustee Steve Kent, and off to my left is Robert Santos, trustee, and I'm Monica Devers, trustee. Motion to approve minutes of regular meeting on March 27th, 2023, and a special meeting on May 1st, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
So at this time, we have a presentation from the Austintown Beautification Committee. Please come up.
Good evening. My name is Katie Gezzo, and I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the 9/11 Memorial Park. Firstly, I want to thank the committee, Mr. Devers, the ladies from the Austintown Junior Women's League, students from the National Honor Society, Junior ROTC and Fitch High School students, leaders and girls from the Girl Scout Troop 80899. We had a total of 24 people show up to our cleanup day, which was originally scheduled for Saturday the 22nd, which was Earth Day, and we had to reschedule due to the weather. So because of the dreary weather, we had to schedule a mulch day to spread the 20 yards of mulch that we bought for the 29th that we were unable to spread. So that will be scheduled for June 3rd at 9 a.m. at the park, which is located at 1055 South Raccoon Road. And then if you aren't able to help on site at the cleanup day or the mulch days, we still want to support the park. We are always accepting donations. We had forms up by the sign-in sheet. And if you're interested in volunteering or donating, you can reach out to myself or Sam Swagger, who's our co-chairman. And then my email is kguzzo@austintown.twp.com. And Sam's phone number is 330-509-5269. And then lastly, we want to present Mrs. Devers with a certificate of appreciation for her generous donation. This is her second donation since last year, so we just want to present her with a certificate of appreciation.
At this time, we'll have our administrator report.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. This is my first official meeting here as administrator for Mike. And the first item I want to address is the wheeled loader. We've been advised by Doug in the maintenance department that it is nearing its end of life and is having difficulty with the drive shaft. So we've been exploring replacing that with a case 621G or F. It's in the neighborhood of $200,000. We've looked through Sourcewell, which is a cooperative purchasing agreement that allows us to purchase without competitive bidding because it's been bid by Sourcewell. And we've also compared those prices to used machines with minimal hours, trying to see the best option. But with the Sourcewell discount, it looks like that is the most affordable approach to go because you get the warranty, 3 years maintenance, and 3 years of bumper-to-bumper coverage under the warranty. We believe that it is possible to fit this in this year's budget due to some stormwater money coming from the county through the ARPA funds. And we can talk more about those when we get down to the stormwater project. There is also a COG meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. that addresses the communication system for public safety throughout the county. As you guys know, we were a founding member of the COG. We came together with Austintown Boardman and Mahoning County to form the communication system. Is there a trustee that would like to attend that, or would you prefer that I go? I think Chief Dow frequently goes.
You guys want to go? I've been going all.
With the COG meeting tomorrow? Okay. Also, we were contacted today by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They will be in the area trapping raccoons and vaccinating raccoons for rabies. So for the public, I think they've reached out to some property owners in the area. In 2022, there was a rabies issue in Boardman. So the process, as it was explained to me this morning, is they set a live trap on Monday, and then they check that trap every day throughout the week, and they pick up the trap on Friday, and if they trap a raccoon, they will vaccinate and release the raccoon in the same location that it was caught. They reached out to the township to request permission to trap on our properties. If you guys are comfortable with that, there's a permission slip for me to complete, so if you want to make a motion to allow them to trap and vaccinate on county or on township property, you can do that at the appropriate time. We received bids today for Fire Station 1 concrete repair. We received one bid in the amount of $136,952, which is about $12,000 less than the engineer's estimate of $148,000. And Folk Engineering is currently reviewing those bids or that bid for sufficiency. And we'll be back to, address the award at a later date. Last year's resurfacing project is finishing up. Robert Frost is the last street to be done, and that should be done on Wednesday. And we are opening up bids for on May 22nd for the upcoming resurfacing project. So, if no one has any questions, we can get a motion for the U.S. Department of Agriculture permission slip.
Need a motion for the
USDA.
DA agriculture slip for the raccoons.
Second.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
That's it.
Motion to approve as the lowest and best bid from Z-Tech Builders 7th Excavator, Inc. in the sum of $328,150 for the storm sewer replacement 2023 project for Windcliff, Pinebrook Court, and Fitch Boulevard.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Chief Cavalier.
The only thing I wish to add, had a visit from a member of Redeemer Lutheran Church last week. She brought a $100 gift card from John Eagle for appreciation to the police officers, and I just want to thank them for that. What we're going to do is go to John Eagle, buy a large meat tray or whatever, and have lunch for officers over there. And I, again, just want to thank them for their donation and showing their appreciation for us.
Chief Andy Frost.
We received the same donation, and again, like Bob said, just want to show our appreciation. And it was very thoughtful of them, and we'll do the same, buy lunch for the crews. So, it was a very nice thing. I'm asking for a motion to approve the repairs of a 1993 KME aerial. We have to replace the swivel. What the swivel is, actually this is a large aerial truck. That whole big ladder aerial part of it mounts to a swivel on the truck. The swivel on the truck is the part that's bad. That has to be fabricated, and in that is where electric goes through, the hydraulics go through, everything goes through it. So we have a bad hydraulic leak on it. The actual quote is about $32,000, but in there it's very clear that if they run into issues, they would have to address issues as they come. So we've actually asked to move that up to $40,000 to handle any of the accidentals that may come with that. If we don't replace it, we have an 88,000 pound paper leak. So it's unfortunate. I don't see any way around it. We don't have the money to replace it. So it would be my recommendation to do it. And so, see what you guys think. That's where it's at. That's all I have.
Motion to approve repairs to the 1993 KME aerial cap replacement swivel in the amount of $40,000. Yes.
So it'll be done by Fallsway. Fallsway is, their main office is in Akron, but they also have them down in Salt Springs and the interstate. And they are certified to do aerial equipment and fire apparatus. So they will have to purchase the swivel from KME, who is the builder of the truck. So it's kind of all proprietary. We actually talk to people who build the swivel. We're unable to buy directly through them. And it's something that our garage wouldn't be able to do anyway because it would take certifications to do it.
Have we used this company before, Andy?
Many times, yes.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Peck?
Yes.
Mr. Stanfield?
Yes.
Thank you.
Zoning Inspector Darren Cavill.
I'd ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution on the hot ice stuff 5.87, the third following properties and properties. 3460 Alameda Drive, 4428 Aston Drive, the vacant lot, 165 Bensley Drive, 55 North Carnegie, all high grass and weeds, 3674 Cromwell Road, and 3491 Derbyshire Drive, junk and debris. Vacant lot on Hasty Road, 5627 London Drive, lot number 5 Nashua Drive, vacant lot, 48 North Labar, all high grass and weeds, 87 North Labar, 5618 Northwest Boulevard, junk and debris, 39 South Road, 43 South Road, 73 through 78 South Road, 617 North Road, grass and weeds, South Turner, 1851 South Turner Road, 2 piles of dirt with bulk of debris in the dirt, 33 North Midcliff Circle, high grass and weeds. And then to that, I want to add 3924 Mahoney Avenue, 152, 158 North Campbell Niles Road. The vacant lots on Mahoney Avenue, there's no address. They're just west and abutting the Dollar General. There's a property on Westmont, 4151, and I have actually 4 properties on Mahoney, Grayson's, the building with the Jimmy John's, the building with the comic book store, and then I hate to say I don't remember the name of the business, but that pastry shop in the old house next near the fire station. I can't think of it. Cupcake Town. I didn't get the comparison. They all need to cut their double strips.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Stanfield? Mr. Peck?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion, find the following motor vehicles meet all the following criteria: 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, ostensibly damaged, but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tire, engine, or transmission, and clear flying vehicle, public nuisance under ORC 505.871, 4215 Claridge Drive, inoperable, unlicensed vehicle, unfit parking, exposed animals in the garage, I did give the guy an extension. He was supposed to have it out this past weekend, but hopefully once he gets this, he'll get it out. We won't have to tell him.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Peck?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.
Mrs. Beaver?
Yes. Do you have anything else for us, Darren?
I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Since it's pretty much our garage sale time, do you mind explaining to the public garage sales?
You can have, yeah, in Austintown, you can have up to 2 garage sales a year, not to last more than 3 days. Obviously, most people have them Friday, Saturday, Sundays. You're not supposed to put signage off on the intersections or on the telephone poles, but if you do, take it down Sunday night or the last day of the garage sale. Do not leave it up. A lot of neighborhoods are going to everybody does it at the same time, which is pretty good because it's just, everybody does it at the same time. But if you do put them out on the intersections, please pick them up on, when the garage sales are. And then, as the board is aware, we approved a final site plan for Myers. And when the engineers approached zoning probably about 2.5, 3 months ago, they told us that Myers wanted to get going and start site work this August and open next May. And that's what I told Rotary last Thursday, but they're kind of recalculating. They want to get all their engineering done and secure all the permits this year and then start site work next April and then be open the following May. But there's still room for them. The only thing they need to do is just finish the traffic study, which they say they've got the updated traffic study for the most part completed and submitted to the county engineer. The only thing they have left is stormwater, so I don't see why they can't start it this year, but what do I know? But yeah, they told us, the engineer, that it would be this August, but that's been recalculated by Myers. So.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Darren? Thanks, Darren. Our park supervisor, Todd Schaefer.
First of all, I'd like to thank Pastor Mark Pemberton and his congregation from Greenford Christian Church. They came out last Saturday. This is I believe this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row. They come out in April, and they also come out again in October and do some work out at the main park on Kirk Road for us, which is they bring about 20, 30, 40 people out when they come, so they get a lot done in 5, 6, 7 hours. It's a big help to the park and my department, so I'd like to thank them for their continuous work out there at the park with us. Last Friday, our road was paved from Kirk Road up to the main parking lot, so we have smooth sailing in and out of the park now. The only problem is for a while, it will look like Indianapolis 500, people coming in and out of there rather fast, going around the bends. But we'll deal with that if it doesn't slow down in the future. This past Saturday, we had the first farmer's market out at the park, very well attended. And, congratulate Stacy Willis, who's in charge. We hired her. I think she did a fantastic job, and I think she's going to do a fantastic job all summer long. Matter of fact, she called me today and has a few new ideas that she wants to try for May 20th's farmer's market. So we're going to meet later on this week and talk about those things. And lastly, I was contacted by the Board of Health today. They will be spraying out at the Kirk Road Park again this year for mosquitoes. They usually call me the day before. They come out overnight and do that when the park is closed up and nobody's in there. And make a few passes around the park and spray for the mosquitoes to try to keep that problem down to a minimum. And that's all I have. Probably 3rd week of May. They're coming out, I believe, either the 18th or the 19th. They'll call me that week and tell me which day for sure. They'll get the lines cleaned out. We'll get the features up and get everything running, and then I'll just go by the weather as far as that goes as to when we'll officially open. But I'll have Steve Sen put it on the township website, and I'll put it on the park Facebook page when we've made a decision about the exact date. That way everybody knows ahead of time when it'll be open.
Makes sense.
Director of our Senior Center, Jim Henshaw. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, the senior center is exploding. I have never seen the growth we've experienced in the last month. Mainly from people outside of Austintown, and they have to pay to come because Austintown people have a tax levy, and those who come from outside of the township have to pay an annual fee. And our painting class, the Bible study class, all of our game classes, our yoga classes, they're just packed with people. It's unbelievable. Even bingo has grown. Yeah, I know, what can I say? My cooking class has waiting lists, our trips have waiting lists. I think people are trying to figure out what we do over there. A little while, but it is really amazing how many people have been coming to our doors, brand new people, and participating. Our pool table, now they have to go in rotation because we've got so many people playing pool. They're saying, can we get another pool table? I said, not yet.
Anybody have anything for them? Well, now we'll hear from Lori Wolf, our fiscal officer.
I just want to say that the state auditors have come in, starting the 21 and 22 audits. Seems to be going smooth. They've asked quite a few questions. They've got information that they need, and hopefully they're not here too long.
Motion to accept April's report submitted to the board review, A through E.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes. New business. Motion to install no parking signs on both sides of 76th Drive from the Route 46 to the East Line parcel 4809-0000-6000, approximately 610 feet.
Has to be you, huh, Sam? So moved. Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Motion to approve advances from general fund to 75,000 to communications.
So moved. I'll second it. The earlier discussion, can you express what these advances are? I've had some calls, and I've explained it to them. Can you mind just explaining what these advances are?
Sure.
They know, but not just.
Yeah, sure. Advances are just a temporary movement of cash until real estate settlements come in or they get their funding for the year. So it's money that comes from the general fund, but it gets paid back to the general fund by the end of the year.
Thank you, Lori.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Motion to rescind request for hearing made on 1/23/23 for the transfer of permit to Canfield Properties LLC, west portion only, 114 Javits Court, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 1225387, permit class D2, D2X, D3, D3A from Elido Incorporated, doing business as Babylon West portion only, 114 Javits Court, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44515.
I have an email from Attorney John McNally representing the property owner. What they're going to do is just put it in storage. They have no plans right now for it. So we have no objection to that.
You do have an objection?
No, no.
No objection.
As long as it goes in the storage. It stays in that.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes. Whether to request a hearing on notice to legislative authority of the stock ownership of Wedgwood Fernando Pizza Incorporated, doing business as Wedgwood Pizza Shop, 162022 South Raccoon Road, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 9462399, permit class C1 and C2. No objection? So
Second.
Motion. Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Jeters?
Yes. With this time now, we'll be doing public response, and this would be on camera, so anyone that would like to speak and go on camera can come up now.
Steve Trelake, 5600 Cider Mill Crossing. I have just two quick questions. No complaints or anything. The cemetery issue that was at the last meeting, and you're going to have a meeting tomorrow,
Yes, sir.
and obviously, with everybody there, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Yes,
But
sir.
when you come with the rules, will they be posted somewhere? I mean, will you publish them again?
We probably should do that. Yes, sir. We will publish the new rules or the
Because I did find that more stuff that I thought at my granddaughter. So I just want to know if it could come back or whatever's going to happen.
Whatever we decide, hopefully we will post something about that. Yes.
Thank you. ABC, Mr. Doherty, I see is gone. He was a board member. Are you now a board member?
Yes,
So you're a member of the board of the ABC?
yes,
Okay. And we are still miles away from it?
yes.
Okay, I feel much better now. Because I know it stands for Austintown Boardman in Canfield.
Yes.
And when Boardman floods, they shut down the whole plaza. So we don't want to get in that same predicament.
No, no. We've been a part of it for, God, 2015.
Well, Mr. Doherty was a board member.
He was. The reason why, because he was already to retire on July 1st. The whole purpose was appoint me, then once Mark Dapolito, the new administrator, gets acclimated, if the board decides to put him back on it, we will. We just didn't want to overflow an individual's plate, let them get, acclimated to things and kind of toss it off. But whoever the board member is can't really do anything without the other two's approval anyway, so.
Thank you. That's it. 5 meetings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ooh, I got two. Sorry, I'll take two.
Anybody here that lives on Northwest or Pitch Boulevard? Sorry. My name is Ed Wilk. I live at 138 Pitch Boulevard. And I lived there for about a year and a half, maybe a little more. When I first moved onto that street, I knew it was a very busy street, a lot of traffic passing by and such. Expect a lot more traffic coming as well too at Myers, especially if there's going to be back entrance into the plaza, just like there's an entrance to the plaza as it is today for Planet Fitness and all those. One thing I didn't know though, when I moved into the street, is that people speed excessively over 25 miles an hour. It's very, very, very common. More than 50% of the cars that drive on that street go over 25 miles an hour. It's also probably the busiest two-lane street I can think of in Austintown as well, because of all the through traffic, people avoiding Hunter Avenue in order to get to the plaza and other shopping as well. Another thing also is a lot of excessive truck traffic. Even though there's signs posted, no trucks permitted, there is quite a bit. As you can see on the second page, these are just examples of the trucks that you see driving, probably the last 6 weeks on Fitch Boulevard. There's a lady across the street from me who has a camera that takes these pictures. She has a lot more, but these are just some simple examples. The very top picture, as you can see, the semi-truck coming from Northwest going onto Fitch Boulevard, it's even in the wrong direction. It's closest to the wrong side of the road. So thank goodness nobody got hurt off of that. Second picture, you can see a lot of traffic at night, truck traffic. It's very uncommon. It's very common to see that if you're sleeping, but if you wake up to it, you can notice it. The third picture, there's this truck. It's not labeled. It's a box truck. But this truck, we also have a video of it. When it came from Harding Avenue to Northwest, it didn't even stop at the stop sign. It just rolled the stop sign. Just drive on to Northwest. The third picture of the Gordon truck, this was taken about 3 weeks ago. I just seen this truck today, driving the same direction. And the last picture, of course, is the UPS truck. This is one of the smaller trucks, UPS, that drives on Fitch Boulevard up to Northwest. They travel at least 4 times a day on this road. So, and these are just a few examples of the truck traffic that we have on Fitch Boulevard and Northwest. Next page, basically just some ideas to help the idea. We know the police department is very busy and they can't watch everything all the time. And there's always a lot of trucks and stuff like that that sometimes we don't even pay attention to that drive. Because I've seen police officers drive in one direction, box trucks drive in the other, without even turning their heads to take a look at it. Some ideas is to have 3 trucks prohibited placed on both sides of the road at the top of Northwest and towards the bottom where it meets with Fitch Boulevard. Also, Fitch Boulevard, both sides of the road, if 3 trucks prohibited on both sides from that point up to the plaza. Because it's very obvious trucks should not be there unless making delivery. It's very, very seldom that we see Frito-Lay, Budweiser, and other trucks like that making delivery to one of these houses. So, another idea. Oh, you have one?
No, I love Frito-Lay, and I never thought about having them delivered to my house.
Never seen them stop.
The lime chips.
Another idea as well is place, well, actually, we'd like to have those signs possibly a flashing solar sign so that this way trucks can see it and they don't obviously forget it and come up with an excuse to why they're on the road. Another idea is to have a place a flashing stop sign right at the Indian Springs Drive and Fitch Boulevard. This way it will stop a lot of excessive speeders as they're going from Northwest up through the plaza. It's very common that these cars, and sometimes motorcycles, in the summertime especially, are drag racing up Fitch Boulevard to the plaza entrance. You see that quite a bit. The reason I don't have too many speed limit signs on this road is because on the next page, you notice on there it's called speed humps. This is something that Columbus has in their residential areas. It's about 14 feet in width, and it goes from one end of the road to the other, in which it's placed about every 100 feet on the road. And this really stops a lot of speeders because to go over that hump over excessive speed will do damage to their vehicles. So there's not a very raised berm, maybe like 2 inches or 3, something like that. You can see on the right picture. So these crews can be very effective in Columbus, there's no doubt. They can still plow, they can still do what they need to do in the winter months. Of course, they don't get as much snow as we do, but they can still get their trucks down. And not have to rely on the police to give tickets or to watch and observe. Next page. I've seen this done in other places, but this is basically off the internet. This Fitch Boulevard is so wide, it's excessively wide more so than any other 2-lane road in Austintown, which may be to put a bike lane on the west side of Fitch Boulevard, so that this way reduces the width of the road, forces people to go slower, and minimizes the semi-trucks trying to get down the street, which do not belong for any reason whatsoever. The important part of this is the standing reflector poles. So if they see that, they can merge over into the bike lane and stay in their lanes and not do anything different. So these are just some ideas to help prevent the excessive speed of truck traffic that we see pretty much every day at Fitch Boulevard. And since it's down to the school, we're in the middle of the school, it's probably something that's ever been thought of. I hear a lot of people talk about it, it's a very big concern. And there's children on the street, pets, things like that as well. So hopefully there's something good to be done.
Thank you. Yes. One second.
Sir, excuse me.
Sir, just.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, no, you can say it. Mr. Cavalier, let's say, Chief Cavalier.
Mike Daughtry told me about your complaint down there in our one lieutenant has been through commercial driving or enforcement. And we have a speed that device down there monitoring the speed, the cars, how fast they're going and that on Fitch Boulevard right now. And we're going to place it on Northwest. The one thing is you can have no trucks on posted like you do here, but you can't stop commerce. So if the truck's going to make a delivery, they still have the right to go make that delivery even though it's posted. No trucks, from what they told us, you can't stop commerce. So
What is commerce?
Business. Businesses.
So Frito-Lay, Budweiser, they can
Yes.
drive on that street,
Yes.
even though Mahoning Avenue is a perfect
Well, it
four-lane.
depends where they're delivering that, down in that area, that's what we'd have to find out, but even though it's posted, you can't stop a truck from delivering the products. Once we get the speed monitor device down and look at the speed in that, Northwest is also a county road, so we can't post nothing on our Northwest, so we'll have to talk to the county about that. Also, if the lieutenants tell me, right, this no truck thing is posted right at the entrance of the plaza toward Northwest, correct? Correct. That means from the entrance to the plaza to Northwest is all that's enforcing to that stop sign, not back.
Correct, yes.
So that's just why they did that, I don't know. That's what, we're checking in on it. So once I get all these answers for you, hopefully we can take care of some of the problems down there.
So everybody who lives on Fitch Boulevard is victim to the businesses
Let
on Mahoning Avenue.
me address an issue. As you say, it's a wide road, absolutely. It should be about 32 feet from face of curb to face of curb. It's also a cement road because it was designed for semi-truck traffic. Now, when we approved the Myers site plan, we did ask, obviously, the county engineers involved in it. And Myers has a plan. I mean, they're going to use Fitch, but for the most part, they won't be beyond the Myers property. And actually, the way it's designed, the truck should circulate within Myers. But you're not going to be able to ban semi-trucks from at least from Mahoning to that back entrance to the plaza. Now, subsequent to the road being put in, and obviously the Austintown Plaza has been there forever, the township in the early 2000s approved a planned unit development for those condos. So the road was there at that width, and that semi-truck was going into the Austintown Plaza before the condos were there. So that's a very nice condo subdivision, but if you're gonna move into that subdivision, that's one of the things you want to think about, is you are across the street from a plaza, and I actually had people come into zoning who were thinking about building there, and I showed them the previous set of plans that we had approved for Myers, and what those distances from Myers property line is to the back of their condos. And some of those go from like 150 to not quite 250 feet away from the property line. But, I mean, we're not going to be able to stop semi-trucks. As for, widening and putting a bike lane there, do you really want people riding a bike on that area? And it's wide because it was designed for commercial traffic. I don't think that's the best place to put a bike path. And you do see them in the inner cities, like in Pittsburgh and stuff. And the speed bump, I think those are good things to consider in residential neighborhoods when you want to slow down traffic. I used to work for Boardman Township, and we did speed bumps up in the historic district on Overhill and a couple other streets that have access from Market Street to just slow down the traffic. But once again, you're on Fitch Boulevard, which is geared to commercial traffic, and I don't know if that would be a good investment for the trustees, because those take some added maintenance. But in some of the neighborhoods, it might be a good area, like Northwest, between Old Town and Fitch, possibly. And there's a guy, and you're 100% right in terms of traffic going out on Northwest. There's a guy who lives on the south side of Northwest, somewhere between Fitch and Howard. He will call either the PD or zoning or the county engineer if you see trucks going in with like excavation equipment to basically, when the condos were digging a foundation, sometimes their excavators would be on Northwest and they shouldn't. It's hard to catch them when they're there unless you're going to station an officer there, for whatever, an 8-hour, 12-hour shift. But Fitch Boulevard was designed for commercial traffic. But Myers, could a truck pull out onto Fitch to go to head south on Fitch to Mahoning? Yeah, if they're turning west. and go into the turnpike, yeah, but that's where we would want them. They shouldn't be pulling out and turning right, heading north, that they shouldn't be doing.
But they do it today.
I'm not up there, I'll take your word for it.
Well, that's what the pictures show.
Yeah.
The pictures show the trucks going north on Fitch Boulevard from the.
Yeah, and then you get into the weights of the trucks, it's beyond what I do, but all I'm saying, in terms of the bike trail, it's a commercial, it's the same as Victoria Road. Victoria Cement is 32 feet face of curb, and it was designed for heavy semi-truck, and, you know, we're doing quite well in Victoria Road in that industrial park, and that's just, I just don't see a bike lane there. I just don't think it would be conducive to anybody's safety.
Well, it's not the safety, it's to reduce the width of the road.
I know you want to reduce the width, but that road is for semi-truck traffic. We don't want to reduce the width on Victoria Road. You know, you don't want to make it more difficult for if I had a business, if I owned the Austintown Plaza, I'd want my deliveries to come in the back, not through the way across from where most of because most of the people going to the Austintown Plaza going from the Mahoning, not the back of Fitch, most of the people.
But could there be signs posted, no trucks except for commercial trucks, so people who purchase property on Northwest and Fitch would know that? Because if you see a sign that says no trucks, when you buy a property on Northwest or Fitch, you would assume, okay, there's no truck traffic. But what you're telling me, truck traffic is permitted. So can there be a sign saying that, so if somebody buys a property, they're like, hell no, I'm not gonna buy property here because of this traffic?
Yeah, you know, that's a public roadway discussion, and I think that's more appropriate for the road superintendent in cooperation with the county engineer.
But it's just
to answer your question, probably.
This is deceiving when you see a sign like this to purchase a property and realize it's just the opposite. So.
If you want to come in and sit down, this is something that we can probably parse out better, you know, as the administrator, as the road superintendent, and see, you know, what we're talking about, because the trucks probably shouldn't be using this as a cut through the exit to Mahoning like he was describing. So we'll see what, you know.
Well, maybe we can sit down, if you want to have a meeting, maybe we can sit down with the representative from the county engineer's office.
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Eugene Connors, 5116 Hollywood Gaming for, oh, excuse me. I almost said Hollywood Gaming for 5116 Northwest. But that's kind of what I nickname it. But it is true, but I knew that when I moved there, that was probably going to happen. And then Hollywood Gaming came and, you know, things got busier and people discovered it as a shortcut. But it does bother me a little bit when I can't be law-abiding and drive 35. I gotta have somebody right smack on my bumper. And it, you know, and that's the way I drive. I drive 1,000 miles a week for my company. I get the same thing out on the road. I don't know what the problem is with people. Trucks, I had a truck this far from my semi from my back bumper last week. But so this thing was speeding. I mean, if, I know it's a county road, and I see the county over there, every time they come over, they get a couple. So there's a good opportunity there. If you want to put, now that I've solved my problem, thanks to Chief and Detective McGlynn. I don't have my crazy lady dumping garbage on my front lawn anymore. At least she hasn't done it since she got talked to, but not sure whether she got justice, but she did get talked to and she stopped it. So if you want to put that sign, I don't care. You want to put that speed sign up in my front yard, you're welcome to do that.
If I can interject, a few years back, one of the neighbors on Northwest State, they contacted State Patrol because of the speeding, and State Patrol put a speed trailer up, which we have ours up on South Turner Road right now. But before we put a speed trailer up, we put this other device up that people don't see. It just records how fast cars are going in at what time, and it tells us, okay, between this time, this is when the cars are speeding, so we know when to put an officer down there instead of trying to guess when they're at there. But anyways, the gentleman was pretty outspoken about the speeding that, and once we put that device up there and got the data from it, it didn't show as much speeding as what he was saying or how fast they were going. And a lot of times with commercial traffic, because the trucks are bigger, that a lot of times they look to be going a lot faster than they are. Once we're done over on Norquist there, we'll move it up over by your area again to see what we have there.
I wouldn't put up any of these speed bumps unless you want to turn some motorcyclists into Evel Knievel. They'll go airborne, because they do ride pretty good. And I don't know, I don't have a radar gun or anything, so I don't know. But all I know is if I get out on Norquist and try to do 35, if there's car, I try to avoid, driving down from Kimberly or any place. I don't want cars behind me because I know they'll get frustrated because I'm driving, and I want to turn in my driveway too, so that's a little bit of a problem. So, thank you.
Hi, Sandra Chasko, 5642 Northwest, and I have to agree with these gentlemen. I live 3 houses from the stop sign on North Fitch. I pull out of my drive, the cars are just coming to the stop sign. By the time I pull out, he's on my back end. So they hardly stop at that stop sign, and they come around. As for the semis, I'd say a couple every day. Why are they coming, if they're delivering at the plaza, why are they not going out the plaza, at the light, or to Mahoning? Why do they come down Fitch, where you say they're not allowed to come?
That sign's posted right after the entrance to the plaza to the stop sign. That's all that covers. Now, Northwest, I'm not sure if there's no truck signs on Northwest or not. I'll have to talk to the county engineer about that.
And as for motorcycles, they come around that corner, they're doing 50 by the time they hit my house. They have to be. And like he said, they're doing those wheelies, racing, 2 of them together going up the street. I mean, we've lived there 38 years, and even the buses would come down fast when Lloyd was there. So it's a bypass. They come down Fitch and go to the plaza. From the plaza, wherever, Myers, it's going to be a nightmare on Northwest with the traffic. So please try to do something about it. Thank you.
My name is Bob Alleman. I live at 5611 Northwest Boulevard, and it is exactly as these folks have said. I lived there for 42 years. And even when I bought, it was a busy street. It was a shortcut to what was just about the Austintown Plaza. I think that's about all that was there. And as more and more businesses came, it got busier and busier. But the truck traffic wasn't what I've seen in the last couple of years. And it certainly is more than just some 2-axle trucks going up the street. Just a couple of days ago, my daughter lives on Howard, just down the street a little bit from me. And I was doing some work, and an 18-wheeler came down Howard Street. And he was probably following his GPS. I'll give him the break there. He turned on the Northwest, then he tried to make a left-hand turn on the Old Town, got stuck, couldn't make the turn, and created a traffic jam. And I was just a little bit dumbfounded. But on Northwest, it's not uncommon to see 18-wheelers. Most of them are, though, the semi-trucks, like Pepsi and the beer trucks and those kinds of trucks, but they're still semi-trucks. And they're making deliveries at the plaza. I understand if a big truck comes down and they're doing resurfacing of a street, or there's construction going on. I understand that. You have to get to your point. But to take a shortcut to avoid a couple of minutes of extra time, I disagree with. The speed has always been a problem. I taught school in Canfield for 35 years. And when I retired, I remember I thought, man, I think I drove Canfield 8,000 times or something like that. And I never got a ticket. I never got a speeding ticket. And of course, Canfield has been known that you better go the speed limit. And as soon as I reached Canfield, it became a 35-mile-an-hour zone. I went 35 miles an hour because I knew that I would be picked up if I was going faster. My son lives in Twinsburg. I go up there occasionally, and sometimes I'll go through Manway. It's on Route 44. As soon as you get to Manway, and it's just a sense that you better slow down to 25. And it's a state highway, but it goes right through the center of their little town. And you just know you better go 25 because everybody else is going 25. And if everybody else is going 25, then they know something that I don't know. And we don't have that in Austintown. We don't have a feeling that we gotta abide by the speed limit. It's fine. I don't think. That's my opinion. But there is a problem. Trucks are a problem, and hopefully we can address that and just do a better job of controlling some of these problems. Thanks.
Is there anyone else on camera that would like to come and speak?
While on the subject of speed, has any progress been made as far as the entrance to Greenbrier since all the requests we made last year? Sorry, Jennifer Rushenberg, 4405, the entrance drive.
Can anybody answer that? Mike's not here, and I'm sure that you don't know anything about it. We've had to wait. Yeah.
You want to just review what your request was?
Okay, so the entrance to Greenbrier, right off of Raccoon, right by the firehouse. As soon as people turn off of Raccoon, it becomes a speedway. And at the island, and as soon as they turn right onto Woodridge. There's little kids right there on the corner, there's senior citizens right there. We've got driveways right there at the entrance. We're gonna get jackhammered. Somebody came out and put new reflective strips on the stop sign that people still ignore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, I thought they did something, but not.
A reflective strip.
Yeah, just the electric, the yellow stripping.
So you were asking for a stop sign.
There's a stop sign there, it doesn't do any good.
The stop sign is on Woodridge.
Correct.
Are you asking for a stop sign when you come in off of Raccoon, going
If you put
towards
one
your
from the
house?
island, that would be great.
You want a stop sign there, because right now there isn't one.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that would be great, first of all, and then anything else you can do to slow them down, because as soon as they turn onto Woodridge, they're on their gas.
Yeah, they don't
There's
have to
little
stop
kids right there.
Yeah,
There's,
They don't have to stop there, yeah.
as far as I knew, residential neighborhoods were 25 miles an hour. So I don't see anybody do 25. But we could revisit that.
We'll look at it and see.
Do have one more question real quick. I'm gonna show you all a picture. And if you can verify for me that that is in fact not a fire hazard or a rodent distractant.
So with the garage,
Mm-hmm.
seems like falls hard to tell what's inside of it, but it does look pretty horrible.
I gotta take my glasses off. It looks like a mess in somebody's garage.
That's one of two garages that look like that.
But it's inside the garage, correct?
Yes.
It's not on the outside.
Right, but it's fire hazard, it's rodent attractant.
4415, you said?
Mm-hmm. You don't need to see it, you've seen it, right? You said there was no issue.
Oh, that guy, I can't go in someone's garage without a search warrant. What would be the basis for a search warrant?
So So again, he's not gonna do anything regarding his own job.
Correct, yeah, I'm not gonna violate someone's constitutional right.
But it's okay for you to volunteer information that puts me in danger.
No, that didn't happen, but when you get up and speak, whether you're on camera or off
Didn't
camera,
happen?
when you're off camera or off camera, you're part of the public minutes.
Okay, that's enough.
We all know otherwise.
That's enough. Anybody else like to come up, talk on camera? How about off camera? Come on up. Okay, at this time, we will take remarks from trustee Steve Parent.
I just wanted to thank Sam and Kate. You guys did a great job with the 9/11. It was a great turnout, well organized. We know a little bit of rain, but we made it through it. The other two, Austintown Community Baseball reached out to me and wanted to thank us for helping them out with the grinding from the asphalt. They were filling in their potholes down there at both fields at Dan Coke Field and what's the other one? Libby's Field, yeah. So they wanted to reach out. Happy Nurses Week to Mrs. Santos there and my wife and the rest of the nurses that do a great job every day. Don't forget this Sunday is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and that's all I have.
Trustee
Really, honestly, Sam, I think you guys did a great job. Sorry I couldn't stay longer. My son had his confirmation retreat and gotta go pick him up and do that stuff. If anyone's ever interested, they can't come out to one of those things like she says, just get in contact with one of those two. They'll give you a list of things to do and they expect it done within 2 hours. So, did a great job. Yeah, I'll reiterate what Todd said about Stacy as well. She did a phenomenal job with the farmers market. I think she's showed what she could do at a winter market. It was like, how cold was it? It was 20 degrees out, and we got a lot of really good turnout, and she did a phenomenal job this past weekend. I look forward to their future farmers markets that we have. Other than that, that's all I have. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate everything.
I just want everyone to know this is the last week for the seniors at Fitch High School. I hope they realize this was the best years of their lives. And I want to let everyone know how lucky we are to have the 911 Memorial Park. Anything that can help offset the upkeep of that, I have tried to help them with that, and I hope that other people can. If they can't physically be there, our monetary donation would be wonderful. We are very lucky in Austintown to have that 9/11 memorial. It's just a beautiful park and something we'll never forget is 9/11. And with that being said, that's all I have. So, motion to recess the executive session for following A and B.
Second.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaver?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.